Why is it so hard for laboring women to advocate for themselves in the birth room? I've been to hundreds of births and I've seen women who were super prepared and strong and educated, and they had a birth plan. They knew exactly what they wanted. And once we got into the birth room, it's like all of that went away and they just did whatever they were told, even if it was completely opposite to what they wanted and what they believed to be best for them. This was a little confusing until I learned about a thing called Tend Befriend. Tend Befriend is a stress response that women have, many women. It's quite ancient, and it's a tendency for us to really protect our children. And it's partly governed by a hormone called oxytocin. And during labor, oxytocin is really flowing through our bodies. And for most laboring women, their primary concern is for the health and safety of their unborn baby. So this is kind of the perfect storm for Tend Befriend. And just to simplify it, imagine way back when we lived kind of tribally or communally in caves, like in caveman days. So the young, healthy, usually men, would be out hunting, and their survival depended on fight, flight, or freeze. We all know about that stress response and how it can save us. Well, if something happened that was scary or threatening back at the cave where all the women were with the elderly people and the children, they didn't really have the option to fight or flight or freeze. Their survival depended on banding together, working together, helping each other survive and protect the children. And the way that translates into the birth room is that laboring women, with all this oxytocin and all this concern for their baby, will often do what they're told. They just go into that stress response. They do what they're told. And it's really hard for them to kind of buck the system at that point. What can you do as you prepare for your birth, knowing that Tend Befriend might get in the way of you getting what you want? I've got 5 suggestions for you. The first one is to get educated. Learn about pregnancy and birth. Learn what your options are. Find out what your local practices and policies are so you kind of know what to expect. Second thing is get a good birth plan. Make yourself a good solid birth plan that's going to build bridges with the staff, help them get to know you quickly, and also the less you have to say and ask for, the better. Third thing is to consider your team. So your primary support person or partner should know exactly what you want. They should understand why that's important to you and then be able to help you get that. And part of your team might be uninviting people who are not going to be supportive, who are going to be extra scared and might help railroad you into something you might not want. Fourth thing would be to get a doula. Your doula can help advocate, help you find information, help you find the words to say what you want. They can also help you change plans if that becomes necessary or if that's what you want. The fifth thing is to practice. There are things you can practice ahead of time that'll help you in birth. You can practice different positions for laboring, for moving around. If you know you don't want to give birth on your back, I would recommend something like when you get on your bed, get on all fours, do a couple of stretches, and then lay down. So your default action when you get onto a bed isn't just to plop down and lay down on your back. You can practice some phrases such as no. That's a good one to practice. You could practice saying, I'd like a few minutes to think about that. You can practice asking questions. Why is this being recommended? How will it change my birth? Things like that. To really get a clear vision on what you want. And then as you're planning, remember that there's this Tend Befriend stress response that might have different ideas for you. I'm Angie Evans. I'm a master doula and a childbirth educator, and you can learn all kinds of great things about how to prepare for your birth on my website listed below. So thanks for watching.